take this note that we are not consistent people. We're consistent in a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to prioritize what you're going to be consistent in.
Yeah.
We're not consistent in everything.
Yeah.
I can't just say I'm the most consistent person.
Right.
Donnie's the most consistent person.
Right.
But there are few things in our lives that we've prioritized to be consistent. Yeah. My one, and I got this from George, and it was oh my gosh, I actually looked this morning and it was disgusting. George said the number one way that kills people's wealth is food.
Mm.
If you think about how much you spend on food, bro, I was looking at and this is like one account. So I've a couple of business accounts. I got personal or whatever, but my business expenses, which I guess I'm not super mad because you need to write it off, but it's still a nasty number. It was like $43,000 I spent in 11 months on meals and entertainment. Dang. And that's all meals because I don't do entertainment like that.
So that's why you say in December you're not going to more restaurants?
No, I'm not. No, that's why I made that announcement, bro. I'm not. If we go out to eat, because I'll just, like, if we all went out to eat, and my peoples, we just did the podcast, I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah.
All right? Me and Reese go hang out, me and the team, I just pay for it. It's just what I do. Not this month, bro. That joint was crazy. But think about this. If you had $40,000, right, and I gave you a challenge, how much could you turn 40,000 to in 6 months or a year?
A lot, yeah.
How much? Give me a number. Just if you have 40,000 that you had to flip a bunch of times for the year, how much would you turn into?
At least 250,000.
At least a quarter.
I was gonna say about 210.
Yeah,
bro.
I think about 7 times.
I ate $250,000.
That's how you looking at it. Wow.
I just ate it, bro.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
It's like I put $250,000 on the table, got a knife and some butter and some ranch dressing, and just started eating my. It's crazy. $40,000, bro. I could have made another $250. The question is, that $250, what would I do with that next year? I ate millions.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
Thank you. I hate that I had to learn the lesson to have this understanding. But yeah, so food, bro. Stop eating out so much. Stop going on dates. Try to get them to come to the crib and cook.
I'm supposed to be trying to get married, bro. You telling me not to go on dates, man. That's crazy.
Those were my single moves back in the day, okay? We're just going to come through and cook. So that would be my how to keep your money. And not even just food, just frivolous spending.
Yeah.
And I know, Carter, you like to have a drink every now and again.
Yeah, that's true.
But Carter said, when we go out, I'm getting a drink. He said, everywhere I go, I'm going to get a drink. But some people they don't have the financial maturity to not. You make the money, so you do what you want, right? But there's some people, you too broke to drink. You too broke to be smoking. What's up with you?
That's cool.
So no one is a consistent person. It's just like we prioritize. But we've all prioritized something. So I can't say that anybody in this room isn't consistent because you are. It's just the thing that you're consistent in is either detrimental or it's not really moving the needle. So consistency. You wake up maybe the same time and you brush your teeth. And you have the same consistent routine where, I don't know, you floss. So my routine is I'll floss, I'll put some peroxide, swish it around for a little bit. Then I brush my teeth, and then I do the little tongue scraper. Y'all use the tongue scraper? No, y'all don't. Use a little tongue scraper. And then I use mouthwash, spread it out, and that's my routine. I'm consistent in that. And some of you all are consistent. Maybe you wake up the same time every day. Maybe you prepare your coffee. Same way, same time, every day. You're consistent in the thing that you do at work. It's just not a life-changing consistency. So we can be consistent. But we'd have to target that consistency to a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes. So back to your point. We have a big goal and we got to figure out what is the most important part about this big goal that I need to be consistent in. And what we decided was every single Monday, we're releasing an episode. Today, we release something every day. Today, we're doing a blog post every couple days or so. Today, we're posting on Instagram or TikTok and all that kind of stuff. We're uploading an audio every day. Today, we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing, if you remember what I said, jumped on a call and said, we will release an episode every single Monday.
Mm-hmm. Or there's a consequence.
Or there's a consequence, for sure. And then we would do, you remember, it would be like an interview Monday. The next Monday, me and Donni episode.
Yep.
The next Monday, interview. Next Monday, me and Donni episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then somehow we was like, all right, we need to pick this up.
Mm-hmm.
We need to pick this up. So we went to Monday interview, Thursday, me and Donni. And it's every single week consistently. But it started with one day.
It started with one day.
Where I start to elevate. So it's one thing to start to elevate and people don't understand and you respond the way you typically respond in that true jerk fashion.
Right.
Yo, if you ain't,
right.
It is what it is. If you ain't coming.
Right.
So I don't have that problem, me personally. I have problems, just not that one.
Okay.
But when I started to elevate, I just kept asking people to come with me. Hey, why don't you come over and help? Yo, we about to start building this joint, you with it? And they say no. And then they'll call again and say, yo, you coming out tonight? Nah, man, I'm working on this joint. Yo, you want to help me? Just come through.
Right.
Nah. And what happened was they stopped calling.
Right, exactly.
But I didn't have to let them go. They let themselves go until they're ready to come along.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
It's not like when you elevate, people don't understand and then they leave you. It's your pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
People will stick with you, but it's how you just have to care enough to say, I want to do something different or I want to become something. Not different, being a different person,
right?
But I want to grow, not in business. You can elevate in business and you're still the same immature little boy you were. Not you, or the same immature little girl you were. You're growing in business, but those same things, you're dealing with the same things. Right. I layer it now, right? Because the next thing is evolving. And here's the thing. The evolution of the idea, the evolution stage isn't just the evolution of the idea, it's the evolution of the idealist, the person who has the idea. Mm-hmm. So if we are going to continue to build, it's not just working on the thing, we have to work on our ability to work on the thing. So that's why we have the book club in the morning meetup, so that we can continue to evolve and grow as a person, because I believe the bigger you are, the more you can handle.
For sure. In
terms of mental, emotional, the way you think, the more strategic you think, the more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word, but the bigger you become as a person, the more you can handle. And this is my favorite quote from Myron, man. He said, and I said it on the call this morning, that everyone's doing 100% of what they can do being who they are today.
Yes.
So if you make $20,000 a year, you're doing 100%. So Joe, I don't know what you make all together in a year, but you're doing all that you can being the person that you are today. Like, we think that we're not doing enough, but you are doing all that you can. I was late everywhere I go. Anybody like that? You was late today. You just knew you was going to be on time. And how many people accepted the fact that you're late everywhere you go? And you're okay with it? So if I had to be to work at 4 o'clock, I would always be there at 4:05, 4:10. But in my job, it didn't matter though, because I'm a server, so I'm just taking over somebody's shift. Typically, they have a couple extra tables, all that kind of stuff. We're good. But I started challenging myself. If I had to be to work at 4 o'clock, I wanted to be there at 3:50. If I got there at 3:55, I'm still early for my job, but I would be pissed because I'm late for myself. For some reason, I can't do what I say I'm going to do. It pissed me off. You should really get upset that for some reason, there's something happening up here where like your time management skills, everywhere you go, and get this, you're probably late the same amount of time. It's always a few minutes.
What do you think of me, David? I think you're throwing shots.
Oh yeah, Donni, it's a pattern. We're all growing. Am I right?
I'm always 7 to 10 minutes late. Always.
So much so, I always bet Joe, I'm like, yo, I think it's going to be about 7 minutes today. What you think? You only get that through consistency. So I think one of the challenges is, how do we become consistent? Right? Anybody struggle with that? I think if we're gonna start with one point is you really, really have to like get disgusted to a point. When you start looking back over your life and look at all the things you've been inconsistent with. It's a habit and it becomes who you are. So if you're not sick and tired of that, if you're mad you don't have a track record of doing something consistently, then you have to feel that. You really got to feel that burn. So I think you need to reflect and say, okay, why am I this way? I did a staff training yesterday and I had them write down a couple things that they are not good at or couple areas of their life where they struggle. And the exercise allowed them to not only pinpoint some things, because I think some things in your life need a label on it. Like we can't just be happy and positive and say everything is going well because it's a wrong affirmation. Mm-hmm. You're lying. Everything isn't amazing. Everything isn't okay. If you deal with anger, you have to say, I'm dealing with anger. Like I get angry sometimes, right? So I had them write down, this would be a dope exercise too. I don't know, you don't really do corporate gigs, but I had them write down 2 things that they struggle with. I had them put it in a hat, and then they had to pick a color, because I did it on the little color paper. They had to pick a color that they didn't write down, open it up, read someone else's problem, and then give a solution to that issue.
I like it.
Because there's a lot of people in the room that can help you with your problem, but we have to identify the problem. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the first step. You got to really be emotionally frustrated with your inability to be consistent. But here's how I can relate with both of y'all, because my dad was like a health, every single morning, and I used to hate it. Every morning I wake up, I hear this sound. And it's him juicing vegetables. And I see this green stuff dripping out of the juicer. And then on the other side, it's like the pulp. It's like, yo, this is disgusting. He just puts in a carrot and then the pulp stuff goes this way and the juice goes this way. And he's giving me this green, sometimes it's purple.
Beets.
Traumatizing. It was traumatizing because I knew that I had to drink this stuff every day. And I'm drinking it, and I just don't like it. Me and my brother go through it. So when I don't have to, I don't. So I go off to, I get a little older, and then my mom and dad split. So my mom, she's more loose with what she eats, and I eat what I want, and then we go through college and we're eating what we want. But somehow, as I get older, some of those things that my father used to do, now, I remember them now.
Yeah.
So now, I'm not as disgusted with vegetable juice because it's looked at as something that I know is going to help me. Me older now, mm-hmm. I never forgot it. Mm-hmm. Now, if a kid never went through that, they'll never understand the value of. I'm more conscious of making sure that I have some vegetables throughout the week. Yeah. I'm more conscious of drinking more water and not all juice and not all cookies, because that's the stuff that my dad drove my head. Now, when I went away and could make my own decisions, mm-hmm. I'm out to do my own thing. But as I get older, those seeds, I think seeds that are planted mm-hmm. from parents never go away.
Yeah. How many people are, you complain about your job every day? Okay. You probably didn't complain the first day, though. Right? Because you needed a job, or it's a new job from another job that you was complaining about. And that first day, that first week, you're like, oh, we up. I can get used to this. I like it. But something happened along the way where your patterns started to kick in, where you get tired of everything. Everything's exciting. And then you get tired of it because it's not what you thought it would be, or it doesn't feel how it did when you first started. And then it tailors off, and then you start something else. You get excited about that new job, and then eventually you're sick of that. That's a pattern.
Yeah.
That's a pattern. And it's probably showing up in some other areas of your life as well. You start a job, you're excited, then you start to complain. You start a relationship, you're excited, and then?
You start to complain.
Not me. I'm just
I know, who's you
going
looking
with
at?
it.
It seems like she's looking at somebody,
I'm
right?
looking into empty space. Not me. Listen, you're trying to. Anyway.
So it's a pattern, though. A hobby. You start, you love it for a minute, and then you stop. How many people got that pattern? Sometimes that might be what you get today, the realization of my pattern. I love starting stuff. Most of the time when people say they're rebranding, what that tells me...
They stopped.
You're stopping and doing something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a rebranding right now. You just quitting. You just quit something. You're starting something else. Your pattern's kicking in.
Rebrand yourself to success. At some point, the brand is the brand, and you're gonna roll with it, right?
So I do want to share this. When I started working at the Cheesecake Factory, and I kind of told us, I think, another episode. My goal was, so I noticed that I couldn't keep a job past 10 months. So my next goal was to be there for 12 months. I said, I just want to get to my goal of being at the same job for 12 months because I'm ambitious, I'm an entrepreneur, but I can't seem to be consistent at a job. I looked up one day, I was there for 3 years. And I said, yo, I'm getting the hang of this thing. Consistency. And then I started my t-shirt brand. But I knew I couldn't, my t-shirt brand was the first thing I started and was consistent with, but it started with me appreciating my job. It was like a whole mindset shift. My job started paying me to get better.